Welcome back to the Coaching Hive podcast. If you tuned in last week to episode 84, you know that we started a new series in the Coaching Hive here on our podcast, and it is all about reviewing products, services, tools, and different softwares that you might use as an entrepreneur with the goal of trying to help you build your business in the simplest way possible. One of the things that I hear all the time, I hear it time and again, is that social media is hard. So last week, we talked a little bit about Justin Welsh's content operating system. And this week, we are going to talk a little bit more about social media. But before we do that, before we go any further, can we just take a moment to celebrate and recognize this is episode 85. I don't know why that makes me smile so much. It's not 75, it's not 100, it's not 50. But 85 just sounds kind of fun, kind of nice. So I just want to pause here and recognize that this is episode 85 of the Coaching Hive podcast. And I have absolutely thoroughly enjoyed coming to you every single week for the last 85 weeks and sharing a little bit about what I've learned as an entrepreneur and helping you to continue to grow your business. Okay, enough of that kind of side note. Like I said, one of the things that I hear time and again is that social media is hard, something to be avoided at all costs, and it feels downright frustrating. But I know that you really do want to be the go-to resource in your industry. You want to be the person that everyone reaches out to for help, right? Yes, of course you do. And in order to do that, you need to have an online presence that attracts engagement, not just a brief smile. The problem is that this feels downright impossible. After all, social media is saturated these days. You can't even see your friends' posts anymore, let alone get through the slog of paid advertising out there to get to the posts that are genuinely interesting to you. And if you're having this much trouble just scrolling Facebook and Instagram, how are you going to create content that wows, educates, and supports your clients in a standout way so that they are looking for your posts, just like you're looking for your favorite business posts? We are going to talk about this and more with one of my favorite services out there, Social Curator. If you are ready, grab your pen and notebook, and with our theme of simplicity, clarity, and vision in 2022, let's go ahead and jump in. I'm Dr. Maura, and this is the Coaching Hive podcast. Now, I was just telling you that social media can feel like a bugaboo. It can feel like I imagine climbing Mount Everest might feel like. Insanely difficult, takes years of preparation, and even then you aren't guaranteed to summit. Jasmine Starr has taken about 98.5% of the challenge and mayhem out of social media with her Social Curator. As you might guess, I already told you, I'm a fan. I'm also a user of Social Curator, and I'll drop a link in the show notes for you to check out Social Curator for yourself. Jasmine has taken something that many think is impossible, something that people dread, worry about, feel frustration, angst, trepidation over, something that just shouldn't be so stinking hard, because business owners shouldn't have to be social media experts on top of knowing their area of expertise. Jasmine has taken social media and turned it into a doable, scalable, and possible piece of every entrepreneur's business vocabulary. Gone are the days of worrying over what to write, finding the right picture, and struggling alone when things aren't working well. Social Curator, it has it all. So what do I mean? Because I want to be specific this week for you. I want to make sure that you walk away from today's episode understanding exactly what Social Curator has, what it means, what it can do, how it can help you. So let me break it down. Each month, Social Curator members, because it's a membership, Social Curator members have access to a new lesson on a trending or key topic. It's called an issue, kind of like a magazine issue. We get a new post templates across key content areas. We get ideas for long form and short form content. We get new photos. We get new Facebook and Instagram story templates. We have access to live coaching inside a dedicated Facebook group. We have co-working opportunities, and we have daily action items to keep us on track when trying to grow and build our social media presence. All of this for $49 a month or $499 for the year if you want to save a little money. But these are just kind of features, right? Let's talk about the benefits, what I've seen personally and what I've seen others experience with Social Curator, because that's where the rubber meets the road. Then you can also leave your questions in the podcast reviews, and I'll answer your specific questions as well, because I want to make sure that you have a really good feel for what Social Curator is and what it isn't. So here we go. I told you that each month we get an issue on a trending or key topic area. This is one of my favorite features. I don't have to be a social media expert because Jasmine does that for us. I can leave it to Jasmine and her team to draw attention to important topics. For example, one recent issue was how to use captions to increase sales. In other words, how do you tailor your social media posts so that they generate sales and not just likes and comments? Another recent issue focused on creating reels in less time. Have you ever created reels? Have you ever tackled reels? You know that if you have, they can be a bear to figure out, especially if you're trying to use a template or a specific song, or you're trying to do the voiceover just right. A simple 30-second reel, it can take hours to plan, to create, to edit, to get it out there. With this issue, Jasmine and her team talk about some practical steps and tips to take so that it doesn't take a lifetime to create just one reel. Because let's face it, if you're doing reels, you're not doing just one every few months. You're trying to do them regularly. So they can't take forever to finish. So she tackles really important topics like that in the issues that we get each month. That brings me to new post templates. I told you that each month we get new post templates across key content areas. Let's put this in perspective. Do you ever sit down at your keyboard with the best of intentions, but you just freeze when it comes time to write the actual post? We've all been there. The templates inside Social Curator, they span holidays, events, times in your business that are important, like sales cycles, promotions, and they do it across 7 different key focuses. What happens is this means I don't have to know exactly what to write when I sit down to create my social media posts. There are plenty of prompts to help you get going, ideas for how to use them, and new caption templates are added every single month, which means you never run out of templates. And the way the templates are written, they're kind of Mad Lib style. So there are blanks that you fill in. And Jasmine and the team are kind enough to give you suggestions so you don't get stuck. But what this means is that you can reuse templates and create completely different posts from the exact same template. So not only are there a bajillion, I know they're not literally a bajillion inside Social Curator, but there are a lot of templates. Not only are there a lot of templates, you can reuse them and create new posts about new content or different perspectives. So you're not going to run out. And that brings me to the next highlight of the templates. You can expand on them for creating your weekly long form content, or you can use them as they're written as short form content, just as they are. Because systems and processes are big on Jasmine's list, they're kind of her jam, she encourages everyone to have a piece of long form content each week, like a newsletter, a podcast, or a blog post. You hear me talk inside the Coaching Hive about the same concept. It's important to have these longer form pieces of content out there. They help build trust, they help build authority, they help build awareness, all the things. What you can do with that long form content then is you can take it and break it apart into smaller chunks throughout the week. We talked a little bit about this last week with Justin Welsh's content operating system. And one of the things he says to do, and Jasmine talks about this as well inside Social Curator, create 6 or 7 posts that complement the long form piece. Justin talks about spreading those 6 or 7 posts out across 6 or 7 weeks. Man, that means that you create one long form piece of content and you have one day scheduled of social media for 6 or 7 weeks. So each post, each long form content, you're adding another post to the week, 6 or 7 weeks out. Talk about making social media a little bit easier. Regardless of how you slice it, the templates, they play so many roles from inspiration to plug and play when you're short on time and ideas, and you just need to simplify the process. So that's kind of where the written aspect of Social Curator comes into play, right? Those templates. But if you are on Instagram or a platform that requires some kind of graphic or video, you know that you got to have something. A lot of times it's a picture, and Jasmine has you covered on this as well. As a photographer, she and her team create absolutely stunning, on-trend, on-topic photos each month that get added to your photo gallery. You can mark them as used so that you don't reuse them by accident, or you can use them in a different way, much like you can reuse the templates, the caption templates, with a different perspective or a different concept or a different piece of content. In other words, it's something you don't have to keep track of on your own. You don't have to write it down and think, oh my gosh, did I already use this picture? I can't remember. Do I need to go scroll back through my Instagram, my Facebook, figure it out? No. The Social Curator system makes it super easy to keep track of this. Now, one of the things that in talking about Social Curator, I've been asked in the past is, well, I already have Canva. So I already have access to photos and I pay for Canva, so I don't need more photos. Here's the thing. I have Canva too, and I'm going to talk about Canva in a future podcast. I'm going to review that for you. But I find that the Social Curator photos are just top notch. Honestly, I go there before I go to Canva for a picture. The pictures are beautiful. The composition is flawless. The content of them is ever changing and it creates a wide variety. Jasmine and the team are always asking for feedback inside Social Curators to see what topics or trends that we'd like to see pictures on. And so she goes out and does that. So yeah, even if you have Canva, you're still going to use the photos from Social Curator. They're just beautiful. They're diverse. They're great. Just use them. I don't know how to say it any other way. Okay. Social Curator isn't just about the regular posts. There are also monthly templates for stories. And I don't know about you. I'm a little embarrassed to admit this, but I'm either on my game with stories or with posts, but not both. It would seem that one of my pieces of kryptonite here is that I can do one or the other. I'm really not very good at doing both at the same time. But I will say that the templates make it easy to get stories in and done, even when your primary focus might be on bigger posts or more important posts that you want to have stick around for a while. The story templates make it easier. So if you are struggling with stories, I love the story templates that we get inside Social Curator. Okay, up to now, first of all, let me stop for a moment. Are you starting to see the benefits of Social Curator and kind of why I decided to do a review on this? Social Curator is a SaaS company. It's a software as a service or solution. I can't remember. Software as a service. Let's go with that. Company. And they are constantly innovating and updating and inspiring. Okay, so if you're kind of already thinking, wow, Social Curator is pretty cool, well, get ready for the next piece here. Because up to now, I've been talking about the benefits of the things that you can kind of touch inside of Social Curator, those templates, the pictures, all of that stuff, right? And as amazing as they are, they don't touch the coaching that happens each month. From live coaching and social media reviews, account reviews with Jasmine, to the live coaching and conversations with the team, you are constantly learning and being supported in a positive way. Jasmine plays all out, but in a positive way. She is there to teach and inspire. She motivates when things are tough and gives you a dose of tough love when you are getting in your own way. Don't we all need a little bit of tough love sometimes? I admit that I don't make as much use of these calls as I should, but when I do, I always walk away with a full cup, full of ideas, full of motivation, full of inspiration, full of plans, and full of hope for what my business can become. And as you might imagine, when you have a business like Social Curator, when a business like Social Curator has such a magnetic, positive, and go-getter head leader like Jasmine, the members that join Social Curator have that same energy as well. It's really kind of neat. So they make the coaching calls even more energetic, right? They create a great atmosphere for co-working sessions as well. And there are co-working opportunities within Social Curator. Now, you might be thinking, I have no idea what co-working is. I can kind of guess, but I don't really know. So can you tell me a little bit about it? Absolutely. If you are not familiar with co-working sessions, the way I run them generally when I use them inside the Coaching Hive is that it's a general time it's a time for people to hop on Zoom together, set an intention for what to get done, whether you need to do some posts, you need to write an email, you need to finish up a course, whatever it looks like for you. You set your intention of what to get done. You share that with everyone. There's some accountability here. Then you turn off your cameras and your mic and you get to work. And then at the end of the time, there's often an opportunity to share what you accomplished and voice the next step so that you keep that momentum going. Because even if you're the most motivated person ever, you can gain a really neat energy from the simple moment of sitting down for a co-working session online. It seems silly, and I know that we are probably all burned out on Zoom, but the moment of being able to smile, connect, and realizing that, hey, you don't have to look camera ready. In fact, I run a co-working session at 6 a.m. in the morning, and I tell the people that I do this with, I'm not going to be camera ready. You're going to see me in my glasses, no makeup. In fact, I probably have mascara smudged under my eyes and a sweatshirt. But the point is to be there to support, to be intentional, and to be held accountable. And so you get some of that inside Social Curator. Okay. So we've talked about 7 different things inside Social Curator. I've got one more for you. And if you remember, if you kind of think back, I told you this already, but we get daily action items to keep us on track with growing and building social media. So have you ever felt drained by social media or felt like the laundry list of things to do was just too long? Yeah. Social Curator takes away the overwhelm by giving you 3 tasks to do each day, and you can check them off. That's pretty cool. That's so neat because you aren't responsible for coming up with your own tasks. And it feels like a weight being lifted off your shoulders. Okay. Now that we've talked about some of the features and the benefits of Social Curator, like I said, we got up to like eight big features and we talked through the benefits. I'm realizing that I left something out. Heavens. This is one of the newest and coolest features. There is now a Social Curator app and a scheduling tool so that you can schedule your posts right within Social Curator. Talk about making things easy. You can create your posts, save them as drafts if you still need to work on them, or go ahead and schedule them straight to your social media account. And we're going to talk more about scheduling tools next week. So I don't want to spend too much time right now on that concept or that feature of Social Curator, but I wanted you to know that Social Curator does have that feature on top of everything else. Okay. All of these things that we've been talking about, $49 a month. Peace of mind, inspiration, motivation, easy ways to get things done, templates, coaching, co-working, a to-do list. It's one of the best investments I've made in my business and for my business and for myself. Because social media, like you know, is not one of my favorite things in the world, but Social Curator takes away some of that angst around social media, makes it a little bit simpler. So $49 a month, and there's that slight discount if you purchase the year upfront, $499. I personally feel like that's a great investment because, especially at that year, because you are committing to yourself and you're committing to growing your social media presence for an entire year when you make that payment. And it's just, there's something magical about that. Okay. Now, if you know anything about the Coaching Hive podcast, each week toward the end, which we're almost there, I give you an action item. So what's your action item this week going to be? Well, you might have guessed it, but I'd love for you to take a look at Social Curator because I think it's really important to understand what's out there and to simplify your business as much as possible. So I'm going to put a link in the show notes so that you can check it out for yourself, but be forewarned, expect to be wowed. I don't say that lightly, and I don't do these reviews for anything in return. The link I'm going to post is an affiliate link, but honestly, I want you to find the tools that are right for you, which is why I walked you through how I use Social Curator, what I like about Social Curator, why it's been important to my business. Now, if you're not sure that Social Curator is right for you right now, that's not a problem. If you're thinking, I just don't have that in my budget, I get you. Or maybe you're thinking, I already have a really rock solid social media plan in place. I don't need anything else. Also, no problem. I think that's wonderful. That's the point behind social media, is that Jasmine wants everyone to be able to use social media in a way that is not overwhelming, frustrating, and annoying. So what is your action item this week going to be? If you are already set, what I'd like you to do is think about what you need in order to up your social media game, or even to just create more consistency in your content creation process. Maybe you are ready to systematize. Maybe you're ready to create processes. Maybe you are ready to kind of work ahead. What does this look like for you? So 2 options for your action item this week. Check out Social Curator. Or if you know that Social Curator is not on your horizon right now, no problem. Go ahead and think about what you need to update to up your social media game, or even just create a little bit more consistency. Okay. How are you feeling about social media now that you know that resources like Social Curator are out there to simplify and demystify your content posting process? Yeah, it's pretty exciting, right? I agree. I hope that you found this review of Social Curator helpful and are feeling inspired about the simplicity that having a good system in place can bring to your business. Social media doesn't have to be hard. Consistency, it doesn't have to be hard. You can do this. You can do this. That's all I have for you today. I look forward to seeing you back here next week for another episode of the Coaching Hive podcast, where a focus on mentoring and community removes the overwhelm of building your successful and profitable business and adds in a dose of momentum. Until next time, have a healthy, safe, and happy week.